It's good to be with you today. We are getting ready to celebrate our Advent devotional for our professional and graduate studies today. And so in just a few minutes, there will be 20 or 30 people here in the room, and I will share a brief devotional, and I get to share it with you as well. I hope that this message will be helpful for you as you are celebrating the Advent season and celebrating the waiting that comes with Advent. God bless. Good to be with you. All right. If you've got that figured out, you can be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are all trying to figure out how to wait for Christmas, right? Now, most of us, as I've seen on Facebook already, our social calendar, our secular calendar, we just want to jump right to Christmas, okay? As soon as we're done with Halloween, we're ready for Christmas. In the Christian calendar, there is a season before Christmas. It's called Advent. It's a time of waiting for Christmas. So our Jewish brothers and sisters waited for 400 years, waiting for their Messiah to be born. And so the Advent season is a time of celebrating what none of us like to do, and that is waiting, right? And so we're waiting for God. We're waiting for God to come. We're waiting for God to help us. We're waiting for God to rescue us. We're waiting for God to intervene in some situation where we need Him to intervene. We're waiting for Him to answer our prayers, right? Anybody got prayers that that you're waiting for an answer? And He never shows up quickly enough, right? We're come on, let's go. And Advent is trying to invite us into embracing that waiting time. So I've learned a new word over the last couple of years. It's the word liminal. Everybody say that with me? Liminal. Say it again. Liminal. Tulsa, did you get that? Everybody in Tulsa? Let's say it with Tulsa. Liminal. Liminal means you talk about liminal time and liminal space. So liminal actually refers to the threshold of a door in Latin. You've got the threshold of a door is the liminal spot. And when you're in liminal space, you're really not in this room and you're not really in that room. You're sort of betwixt and between. You're neither here nor there. You're not in this old comfort zone that you used to be in, but you're not yet in the new place where hopefully God is leading us, right? And so you're on the edge of adventure. You're not really sure if it's a good adventure or a bad adventure. I don't like this picture, so I don't look at it. I just leave it up there for you guys. This liminal space can be a scary, messy time. Again, I wish we had about 15 minutes to just talk about examples of liminal space. I'm just going to have to give you a couple real quickly. A caterpillar in a cocoon. So the caterpillar is no longer a worm, but she is not yet a butterfly, right? So when you're in the cocoon, you're in liminal space, and you're neither here nor there. Liminal space is when you have bought a new house and you haven't sold the old house, and you're stuck with 2 housing payments. When you have been laid off from one job, and you're not sure where the next paycheck is coming from. And I think I know you well enough. You sort of have the hope and the confidence and the belief that God is going to help me find a new job. It's just, I don't know where that's not helping me pay the bills this month. And I don't have a paycheck in liminal space. Liminal space is just getting married or just getting divorced, and I'm no longer single, or I'm single again. Somebody just told me this morning that attended last night that they just got engaged. And he said, I'm in liminal space. Our dear Katrina here is with child. And so when you are pregnant, you have this liminal baby inside of you. And for 9 months, you're eating for 2. And then you have a baby and you don't get to eat for 2 anymore, right? And so we have the, hi there. So I'm hoping quickly that, wondering if, and we're not going to have time to discuss, I wish we did, can you begin to search through your life and your heart and things going on? Rotator cuff surgery next Thursday. Liminal space. Those places in our life that aren't, that the new word is fluid. Our liminal space is fluid. That means we don't have solid ground for our feet. So when we are in liminal space, we feel messy and nomadic, and it's just going out of control, paralyzed, lost, scary. It's just, I just don't. When I'm back here in my old comfort zone, I know what to do. When I'm in this new thing, when it finally comes, I got it handled. I plan my work and I work my plan. In liminal space, that's not going on. Liminal, you are sort of along for the ride. And so how we act in liminal space, it's just a time of being out of control. Here's your time for confession with the chaplain. Any control freaks in the room? Well, we have some bold, last night it was like, you know, we want to be in control of the situation. In liminal space, you already don't like this thing, I can tell. This is a hard place to be when we don't have the control that we usually have. So we want to go back, or we want to hurry up and go to the next place. All I know is I don't want to be here. It's just not a place that I want to be. And there's even a psalm, there's a psalm for every emotion. And so Psalm 13:1 is, how long, O Lord? How long are you going to let me go through this? Have you forgotten me? I mean, you got me into this place, and now you've forgotten me. And so even the psalmist understood this kind of a feeling. When you start to use this liminal thought, this liminal lens, and start to read the Bible with this thing going on in your head, you can see this liminal thing going on all over the place. Genesis 12, God comes to Abraham and says, I want you to leave the land that you're very familiar with and go to a brand new land that you don't know anything about, the promised land, liminal land. And so you've got to trust me and go with me. 500 years later, you've got Moses leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, and on this 40-year wilderness liminal journey, if we could just, I love this verse, if we could only go back to Egypt and get some more leeks and garlic. I mean, it's like going back home to have liver and onions. That's my feeling exactly. And then we just celebrated Black Friday, but do you understand Black Saturday? The crucifixion on Good Friday, the resurrection on Easter Sunday morning. Black Friday, Jesus is dead and in the tomb. And that's not a good place for anybody. Here's what I've discovered as I've learned this liminal word. We as human beings hate liminal space because it's just so awkward and uncomfortable. God seems to love it when we get into liminal space, because then we're not in control. We're not in control. Things are out of control. And so we don't have to, but we are invited to trust the person that is in control. Does that make sense? And to say, I don't know what's going on here, so help me to trust you that you know what's going on, right? Yes, you know what's going on. So what if we could use this liminal situations to be a time of spiritual transformation? That we, in this liminal time, we learn to trust God and lean on Him in brand new ways. And so, instead of being paralyzed and anxious and out of control, we can be trusting and waiting and praying, and then praying, that is not a typo, praying some more, and being obedient and anticipating what God is going to do. Because hopefully, if it's out of control for me, hopefully you are in control and I can trust in you. So what does this have to do with us? I'm going to take a rough guess that some of us, if not all of us, can identify some liminal spaces in our life. For some of you, it's parenting a 2-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 20-year-old. And some of you, a lady here last night, caught in that sandwich generation of taking care of her own children and also her aging parents. And I've heard her story over the last 5 or 6 months of what a struggle that is to be caught in that liminal sandwich situation. Trying to decide what's happening with your program, and will your VA loans hold out? And do the scholarship, how's that all going to work out? And books, what do I do with all my books? And then, okay, fine, we're having graduation on Saturday. Anybody graduating on Saturday? Woo, 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 woo! Let's go. Tulsa, anybody coming down to graduate on Saturday? Come join us. So, okay, fine, I survived the program. Well, now what? Do I stay in this current job? Do I go find another job? You just got all of these liminal space answers. Your finances, your health issues. Some of you have received a diagnosis and it's like, okay, now what? What do we do? How do we move forward on that? And in all of these liminal spaces of our life, God is wanting to use those awkward, difficult, messy situations to draw close and help us out of that. So this is time when we are not in control, but God is in control. So here is a little bit more. Here are the first 2 verses from Psalm 13, and then the last 2 verses of Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, are you going to forget me forever? How long are you going to hide your face from me? How long am I going to wrestle with my thoughts? Do you hear the liminal thing going on there? And then you jump to the last 2 verses and you find the trusting and the waiting. But I will trust in your unfailing love. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. I will sometimes have to choose to sing to the Lord because I do remember that you have been good to me. Amen? And so even in this, how long, oh Lord, is this going to go on? We can still have trust in the one that is in control, even when we're not quite in control.